Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, I want to chat about a book that absolutely blew my mind, especially when it comes to how we show up in our lives, at work, and with the people we care about. It's Dare to Lead by Brené Brown. You might know Brené from her incredible TED Talks or other books. But this one felt like she sat down and wrote a playbook just for us, for anyone who leads, whether it's a team, a family, or just your own life. I picked it up because I kept hearing leaders talk about needing more courage in their organizations. And I thought, well, if anyone can teach us that, it's Brain. So what's Dare to Lead all about? At its heart, it's about this deeply human truth that we often miss, especially in professional settings. Courage and fear are not mutually exclusive. It's not about being fearless, it's about feeling brave and afraid at the exact same time. Sometimes all day long. Brian's big message is that true leadership isn't just about strategy or smarts, it's about leading with your whole heart, being vulnerable, and connecting with people. Now, when I first heard vulnerability, I pictured, well, pretty much what a lot of us picture: weakness. Oversharing, maybe even crying at work, right? But Brain, with her decades of research, just knocks that myth right out of the park. She says vulnerability is simply the emotion we experience during times of uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. She asks this incredible question: can you think of a single act of courage that you've witnessed in someone else or experienced yourself that did not require experience in vulnerability? And guess what? She's asked this to military special forces SEALs, rocket scientists, and literally no one has been able to give her an example of courage without vulnerability. The weakness myth just crumbles under the weight of real life experiences. So why is this so hard for us? Why do we resist it? Because we put on armor. Think about it like those super cool spy movies where you have to get past a million laser grids to get to the treasure. Only to find the treasure is your own heart. Our armor is all those ways we self-protect: perfectionism, that urge to be the knower who always has the right answers, or maybe hiding behind cynicism and sarcasm. Breen found that fear is precisely the underlying barrier to courage. But it's not the feeling of fear, it's how we respond to that fear that truly matters. We armor up to protect ourselves, but ironically, this armor keeps us from being seen and from fully engaging. Bryn actually breaks down courageous leadership into 4 core skill sets that you can totally learn and practice. It's not about being born brave, it's about building these muscles. The first and most foundational is fumbling with vulnerability. This isn't just a fancy way of saying have a tough conversation. It means showing up with an open heart, staying curious and generous, owning your part, and really sticking with the messy middle of problem solving. It's about listening with the same passion you want to be heard. This brings us to one of the biggest emotional roadblocks: shame. If you're like me, you probably mix up shame, guilt, and embarrassment. But Breen makes it crystal clear: shame is I am bad, while guilt is I did something bad. Guilt is actually a good thing. It helps us correct our behavior because we feel out of alignment with our values. Shame, on the other hand, makes us feel unworthy of connection and corrodes our belief that we can do better. So what's the antidote to shame? Empathy. Have you ever shared something really tough with someone and they just tried to fix it or tell you it wasn't a big deal? That's not empathy. Bryn shares this amazing story about missing her daughter's senior night field hockey game due to flight delays, and she's just sobbing in the airport. Her colleague Suzanne didn't minimize her pain or tell her it would be okay. Instead, Suzanne looked her in the eye and said, "This sucks. This is such bullshit. I'd walk back to Houston with you if it helped." And then, "My heart is breaking too." Empathy isn't about fixing, it's the brave choice to be with someone in their darkness, not to race to turn on the light so we feel better. It's feeling with people, not for them. It involves perspective taking, being non-judgmental, understanding and communicating feelings, and mindfulness. And because vulnerability and empathy are so tied to connection, the next big piece is trust. We all want to be trusted. But how do we actually build it? Brain gives us this amazing framework called Braving. It's an acronym for the 7 behaviors that define trust: boundaries, reliability, accountability, bold confidentiality, integrity, non-judgment, and generosity. Think of trust like a marble jar. Every time someone supports you, keeps a confidence, or is kind, you put a marble in. When they disrespect you or share your secrets, marbles come out. It's earned in those smallest of moments, not through heroic deeds. My favorite one is vault. It's not just about keeping my secrets. but about you not sharing other people's secrets with me. Because if you're spilling about others, how can I trust you with my own? What guides us through all this brave work? Our values. Brain says a value is a way of being or believing that we hold most important. And here's the kicker, you can't just say you value something, you have to practice it. She challenges us to pick just one or two core values. Why so few? Because that's where all the tough decisions are truly tested. It's choosing courage over comfort, it's choosing what's right over what's fun, fast, or easy. For example, have you ever meant to call a friend who's going through a tough time, but you keep cutting it off, convincing yourself it's too late, and then you run into them, and you feel that little pang of shame? Brain says those 5 to 10 seconds of discomfort from making that call are always better than the internal struggle of having zigzagged and avoided doing what you value. And since we will fall, the final skill set is learning to rise. This is where we learn how to get back up, dust ourselves off, and learn from our setbacks. It's a three-part dance: the reckoning, the rumble, and the revolution. The reckoning is simply recognizing when you're emotionally hooked by something. You know, the moment your stomach drops or your jaw clenches. The rumble is where you go to the mat with your story and own it. The core of the rumble, recognizing that in the absence of data, we always make up stories, our shitty first draft steps. Let me give you a personal example from the book. Breen tells this hilarious and painful story about her husband, Steve, coming home exhausted and saying, "We don't even have any damn lunch meat in this house." Her immediate staff was that he was passive-aggressively blaming her for everything wrong in their chaotic life at that moment. She was ready to fight. But instead of just reacting, she eventually said, "The story I'm telling myself right now is this: I am a half-ass leader, a half-ass mom, a half-ass wife, and a half-ass daughter." And what did Steve say? "You know what? I get it. I know you're making that up because that is your go-to story when you're in a hard place. I'm diving down. I'm going to find you, and I'm going to pull you to the surface." Turns out he was just hungry for a hand fold over. That simple tool, the story I'm telling myself, allows us to surface our fears and assumptions without putting them on others, inviting a real conversation instead of a fight. So what does all this mean for us today? It means that true leadership, whether at home or at work, is less about power and control and more about connection, empathy, and courage. It's about creating cultures where people feel safe, seen, heard, and respected enough to take off their armor. It's about putting down the armor that keeps us small and stepping into the arena, ready to get a little messy, but knowing that we can get back up. It's about choosing to be brave and afraid at the exact same time. My biggest takeaway: if you're a leader or just someone navigating the beautiful messy chaos of life, this book is a must-read. It's not just a book, it's a toolkit for living a more wholehearted, courageous life. It will challenge you, make you uncomfortable, and probably lead to some haha moments about your own armor and the stories you make up. But in the end, it offers a path to greater connection, trust, and resilience. It's truly a revolution, not just in how we lead, but in how we live. Give it a read and let me know what you think.